You try or you want to do something, as long as you don't allow it
Exactly. Yeah,
to catch up.
and it got really bad to where if I walked 5 feet, I couldn't breathe.
And hopefully it doesn't continue to progress and get worse,
Uh-huh.
But sometimes with this lung disease, it can do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not so sure that you'll ever feel normal per se,
Yeah.
to where you can do the things you want to do,
Right.
walk where you want to go.
Right.
That may not be possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've thought of that.
But on the other hand, the more that you do or try to do or stay active, the better it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For example, if you stay in bed all the time or if you sit down all the time, when you do to go to get up, your body's not in the same condition it was. Your muscles are weaker.
Yeah.
So it takes more effort. It takes more energy to try to get up and walk.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fine line between staying active so your muscles can be as efficient as they can so they don't require so much more oxygen.
Right.
But it's hard to be active when
Can't
you
breathe.
feel short of breath and can't
Walk
breathe.
3
So,
feet and
it's
can't not breathe.
yeah, so it's a hard balance, but as you become more weaker and as you become more unfit, so to speak, from being ill and
Uh-huh.
not moving, it's going to take more effort to move.
Right.
You're going to be more short of breath, even though it's the same distance of
Right.
what it was, but your body's not as fine-tuned to do those things.
Right.
So it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It really
Oh, I
is.
know.
Yeah, because she hasn't been able to she's pretty much sits on the sofa all day. So it's just progressively getting
that's
worse.
just recently.
More difficult.
Since September, or actually in the last month or so, it's gotten worse.
And adding more oxygen and turn up the oxygen won't really fix all of that. That's not the answer.
I didn't think so because we did kind of trial and error and it did not do anything. Yeah.
So we can
Or
put
whatever,
you on
just
a
her
whole
having
bunch
the-
of oxygen, but if the lungs are not working, the oxygen ain't getting to where it needs to.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dr. Patton, Dr. Parker, and those guys, they can tell you more about the disease and how it's progressing and what they think is going to happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes these things can progress and it's not good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I realize that, and that's what I had went to my daughter's house because they didn't want me to stay, by myself.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking about selling my house because I don't know if I'll be able to live there alone.
She can't take a shower without being just.
Yeah.
We're just whipping wearing her out.
I mean, I bought an O2 monitor because I wanted to see what it would get to. And it was 83 within just a minute of.
And that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And there may come a time to where there may not be much more we can do for you.
Right.
If
Yeah.
there's an infection or something like that, yeah, we can treat that infection, but
Right.
that doesn't treat the underlying
The
disease.
Right. Yeah, I understand. I know.
So let's see how the day plays out. Let's see what Dr. Parker and those guys have to say,
Yeah.
and we'll reevaluate and see how things look in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. On paper, everything's looking better for his infection and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
I think we're on top of that.
That's good.
It's just a matter of
That's good.
deciding when we're going to send you home.
Uh-huh.
And I think regardless of when I send you home or we send you home, you're not going to feel great.
Yeah.
I wish I could make you feel great and say
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
need the oxygen, but we just need to find out where we get to kind of like a baseline,
Mm-hmm.
and then see maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, we'll just kind of see how it goes.
But she shouldn't live alone at this point. You don't
Well,
think?
that's up to you for y'all to decide.
Yeah, I don't think she should.
If it's if you can't, usually what I tell people, if you can't meet your basic needs,
Mm-hmm.
okay, whether that's going to the bathroom,
Uh-huh.
washing up, getting something to drink and something to eat,
Uh-huh.
if you
I
can't.
have been doing all that, up until this is the last week or so, a couple
Right.
of weeks
Right.
that it's
So,
gotten bad.
so if you can't do that, then it's better if you have the capability to have someone with you or be with someone else, because you need those basic things to live also.
Right.
I can give you all the oxygen in the world, but if you're not eating and drinking, it's not going to work either, So you need the other side of it also.
Right.
As far as permanent, live with somebody for the rest of your life, sell your house type stuff, I don't know enough about it to tell you what the future and prognosis is gonna be to make those kind of big decisions.
Yeah.
But for right now, for the next few days, for the next week or so, I think it's probably a good idea. And then after you're over this pneumonia a little bit longer,
Mhm.
talk with the pulmonologist and they can give you a better idea of,
Mhm.
no, I don't think it's gonna get much better than this, or,
Mhm.
okay, you know, we can get you better, you'll be, you know, and then you can make those decisions. I think would be a best, because I hate for you to rush in to make a,
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't
that's a
need to
big
sell the
decision.
house right now, no. There's no need for that, but,
that would be my suggestion.
Mhm.
was it viral or bacterial? Do
It
you
looks more
know?
viral.
Viral,
We can
my
tell,
husband
and-
asked me that.
And with the flu and everything else, you know, we're
Yeah.
covering it with antibiotics, we probably send her home with some. But, you know, sometimes in situations like this, it's a combination,
Sure.
you know, because her, again, with her lungs being, it
Right.
didn't take much to insult them to get something in there and
Mhm.
to cause problems.
And can the pneumonia actually worsen the fibrotic lung disease? Can it make it go a step back?
I don't know if
or
it can actually worsen the fibrotic disease, but it can worsen the lung function.
just the lung function?
Overall.
Temporarily, or no,
permanently.
even
If you have
permanently?
pneumonia where part of the lungs are really damaged and they
I was
really
wondering
irritate,
about
they don't come
that.
back, that can definitely make it worse.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know just to say that it makes the fibrotic disease
Sure.
worse, but again,
Just the
when you're
overall.
already diseased and don't have much, anything that you take away makes it worse.
Makes a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have that reserve. You know,
Right.
Same thing like with the heart. You know, the heart in some people, they can have a heart attack and they do okay, but they come to a point to where they lost so much heart function,
Yeah.
then no matter what, they're not going to do okay anymore. And it's the same thing with the lungs. Some people can take, like people who smoke and people have COPD and do these things, they can do well for 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they reach that point to where there's no more extra,
Yeah.
and now they're in a bind.
Right. And I've never smoked. So.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Well, yours is a different situation, different reason,
Mhm.
but sometimes a similar type picture. These people are fine, and they're still doing the bad stuff. Their lungs are still getting damaged, but once they reach that point to where there's no more reserve, they're okay when they rest. But anytime you try to increase that demand,
Yeah.
they're unable to increase the supply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter what we do, there's some medications and things we can help, but there's really
Yeah,
no.
I have something that I had started taking about a month ago. Well, when I saw Dr. Parker.
But unfortunately, there's no miracle cure.
Mm-hmm.
You
No.
know, we can try to slow it down, and we can try to treat the symptoms somewhat,
Yeah.
but it's not like this is something that I can, like the pneumonia, I can give you antibiotics and stuff, I can get rid of that.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's not gonna fix the big.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Realize.
Any other questions or anything you need today?
No.
Okay. Once we keep doing what we're doing today, we'll reassess things in the morning, we'll talk with Dr. Parker or Patton, whichever one's on, I think it's Patton again tomorrow.
Oh, it is.
I think so, he was here today, I think they're on for a week now at a time, so,
Oh, okay.
as far as covering the hospital.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they're down to 2 of them, Dr. Barton left, the female pulmonologist was with him,
Yeah, I
she
heard
left.
that.
So it's just Dr.
She was
Parker and Dr.
leaving.
Patton, so it's.
A week
one or
at
the other, you know.
each.
Yeah,
You know,
which is fine. I
But you only got
like
2
Dr.
people, it's
Patton.
kinda hard to take off, you know, it's either
Yeah.
one or the other, so.
Yeah.
And they're both good, I think either one of them
Yeah,
are very
Dr.
sound
Patton
physicians,
is good.
you know.
And I just happened, my doctor in Morgan City made my appointment.
Yeah, and
with
whoever
Dr.
you see in the office,
Parker.
regardless of who you see in the hospital, you'll probably still follow with the same person in the office
Yeah.
all the time, but in the hospital, it just happens to be.
Whoever's on call.
when you're here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll check on you tomorrow. I may or may not be here tomorrow, but we'll reassess and maybe talk about discharge. Any other questions? All right. If you need something, let the nurses know, they'll give us a call.
Okay.
All right.
It was a good meeting.
Nice to meet you.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.